Good afternoon, this is Pat Walker, Mission Winners, doing a video overview of the ETFs. Why do we go through the ETFs? It helps us find where there's strength in industries and sectors, areas to possibly look into further, but also areas to avoid. One of the things I love is weekly on the left, daily on the right. Why? Helps us just see bigger picture. U.S. robotics had been basing and it's lifting off a little bit. Had good volume here. You could punch up BOTZ, find out what the leading stocks are in that ETF. And it was acting fairly strong. There you go. You can combine those variables and say, well, the market's not doing anything, but this is kind of going up. You could look into it and say, gosh, maybe there's an opportunity there. That's why we do what we do at Mission Winners. Let's continue onward. Cloud computing's picking up, but it's still pretty dang choppy. Not a lot of power there, okay? In 1 second, in literally 1 second, there's the title, commodities. 1 second, stay away from commodities. Done. You don't have to overthink it. That's it. Move on. Diamonds, kind of hanging in there still. That's the Dow diamonds. They're just kind of sloppy right here. Dow Jones Internet. Look at this is picking up here a little bit. You see this right here? Lifted across these tops. Here's this going, if you extended this on, there's a higher level here, but there's a lower level right here that corresponds to this line. It's picked it up a little bit. What does that tell us? Maybe I should look at some internet stocks. There you go. That's power. You can punch up FDN and find out what their top 10 holdings are. Maybe there's an opportunity there. That's why we do what we do. The key point is this, internet's starting to pick up a little bit, something to look into. IBD 50 is still lagging. I'm not knocking the IBD 50, but it's just showing there's not a lot of power in a lot of leading stocks. There really isn't. You can see it in the market action. What group is doing well? Well, the MAXLIST is doing well. All right, here we go. Microsectors. Bang. This is picking up a little bit. This is a newer one I added here, okay? But you can see it's picking up. You can punch up FNGU and find out what they own. Okay, will that help you? Well, I can tell you, FANG, it's FANG stocks. What are FANG stocks? Well, I had the MAXLIST long before there was the phrase FANG, okay? First Trust, FV, you can punch up FV and say, what's going on here? But it's not lifting. It's not doing anything. Be careful with that. Right here, China, stay away. That's it. You're done. Look at it. It's sloppy. Gaps up, fades. Gaps up, fades. It's just telling you there's a downtrend. Be careful with Chinese. Be careful with Chinese stock. By the way, I'm not getting political when I say that, okay? I'm just reporting what is. Be careful with Chinese stocks at this point in time. Gold miners, stay away from it. There's nothing there. Gold, there's nothing there. Leave it alone. I mean, look at it. It gapped down through the 50-day. Well, maybe it's going to come back. We don't play the maybe game. We get in line with what is. There's nothing happening there. Leave it alone. Continue onwards. Biotechnology, there's no power there. Leave it alone. Oil and gas exploration, look at this. Below the fallen 50-day, leave it alone. Expanded software technology. Another look at this. Technology ETF, leading. Yeah, what technology stocks do we own? Gosh, we own a bunch of them. And I'm not bragging. It was telling us the price and volume action on the MAXLIST stocks and these ETFs like this. We're seeing things are improving. Key on big tech technology. Medicine, really not much power there. Leave it alone. Mid cap, there's no power. Look, there's no power. Leave it alone. Stay away from mid cap. Aerospace and defense, there's no power there. Leave it alone. I mean, folks, well, maybe it's going to bounce here. We don't want to play the maybe game. Strength begets strength. Key on that and turn off all the noise. It will help you. U.S. home construction broke out of a base here. Here it is. Home builders. Oh, do we own any home builders? Yes, we do. We own 3 of them right now. Kaufman and Broad Home, Beazer Homes, Pulte Homes. They're working. And it was telling you back here that there's strength. There you go. Now, I'm not saying buy it now, but it's still acting okay. There you go. S&P growth picking up. Look at this. Growth stocks. Gosh, what are growth stocks? Oh, I guess some of the MAXLIST stocks are growth stocks. There you go. It's been leading. And it has been leading. You could punch up IVW and find out what are their top 10 holdings. Key on that. That's systematizing. You've got a limited amount of money, a limited amount of time. Let's use both assets wisely. There we go. Small cap still lagging. Look what it did Friday. Gaps up and fades. There's no power in small cap. Be careful with it. Real estate, there's nothing going on with real estate. Here's the deal. There's nothing going on. Just forget it. Move on. It's not that hard. Transportation's picking up a little bit. Look at the tops right here on transports, IYT. See that? Maybe looking at some transport stocks. By the way, there was good volume on that bar on Thursday. Show you something else here. I'm not saying buy it, okay? But I am saying here's some tops. Maybe it'll base here and push through those tops. You could also look at IYT and see what their top 10 holdings are. Maybe there's something there. But note, there's still a lot of overhead on the daily, or on the weekly too, okay? Just be careful with that. Jets picking up a little bit, but there was some power here. A lot of overhead here. So just be careful with that. Mid-cap lagging. Look at this. There's nothing to do with it. It's falling. It's not going up. Don't look into the mid-cap stocks. Be careful with that. Oil services. Look at this. In 1 second, it says, I ain't going to buy any oil services stocks, Pat. There you go. That's power. And it's been saying that for a while. Look at this weekly chart. That's why we haven't been involved with oil services. Pharmaceuticals, there's not a lot of power there. I'd be careful with that. Software's picked up a little bit. Look at the pickup on Friday. And here's the weekly. What does that say? Maybe I should look into some software stocks. Yeah, now you're getting. What's a software stock we've owned for a while? Microsoft, which is a MAXLIST stock. But this is picking up. You might punch up PSJ and see what some of the holdings are. By the way, on Thursday, that was up on heavy volume. There you go. Technology related. QLD, own it. And it's working. Look at the lift. See this? Hit new highs for the move here. Look at the weekly. I'm not saying buy it now, but we're in it from lower and it's working. It's not a huge move. I don't want to convey that, but it's going up. It's steadily going up, and that's what we want. QQQ, same situation. Retail's picking up, kind of, but it's kind of sloppy here, but it's not too bad. The retail, the investor, the consumer. Silver, stay away. Look, I mean, folks, what I just said there, to me, is very profound. There's power in this. Stay away from silver stocks. It's good to know what to look for, and it's good to know what to avoid. There's nothing happening with silver. It's tarnished at this time. Okay, dad humor, don't hang up on me. Anyway, nothing really going on with it at this point in time, okay? Steel, same situation. There's nothing good there. If you buy that, it's really testing your metal. Okay, you got to have fun too. Take what you do very seriously, but enjoy it also. Enjoy the ride, okay? It'll make life better for you. Semiconductors picking up? It's been picking up. What does that say? Maybe we should look into some semiconductor stocks. There you go. That's good to know. Do we own any semiconductor stocks? Yeah, I can tell you 2 of them we own right now. We own, you can guess one of them. We've owned it for a while. NVDA. What's another one? Advanced Micro Devices. There we go. Here we go. I'm not saying buy them now. That's not my point. S&P 500 started to lift up and backed off just a little bit on a pickup in volume. Needs to show some power here, okay? There's the weekly, there's the daily. Continue at SSO, similar situation. Solar. Look at the daily. Stay away. Don't, well, this is maybe, no. Let's not play the maybe game. There's nothing happening here. It's below the falling 50-day. I used to say this at the meetups for years. The air is better above a rising 50-day moving average line. Something to consider. Small caps, nothing good going on there. Uranium, there's nothing good going in there. Oil, stay away from oil. There's nothing happening with oil. The consumer's coming back a little bit. Look at this. That's a plus. That's a plus. The consumer. You can punch up VCR and see what are their top holdings. All right? Consumer discretionary. Discretionary spend. I'm not saying buy it, but the consumer stocks are picking up a little bit. Aerospace and defense, there's nothing really good going on there. Biotechnology, there's no real power there. Home builders, that's okay. Maybe it'll form a handle here. Here's the weekly, though. This is why we look at the weekly. And I'll draw this for you. What do you see? You say, oh, there's a base here. Maybe it'll form a handle and then take off. With home builders, that's good to know, isn't it? I'll show you that again. Hold on. There it is. Let's continue onwards. I'm going to refresh this chart too. You see this side right here? This is why we look at daily weekly. Look at the daily here. I'd seen this and I wanted to just clarify for us. Look what it did here. So it looks pretty good on the weekly, but you see the back off? This needs to form a handle here, all right? That's why we do what we do. Materials, there's nothing good going on with materials. Communication services is picking up. Look at the weekly picking up. Here's the daily. You can punch up XLC and say, that's pretty good. What is that? It's technology related. Technology's picking up a little bit here across the board. Energy's dead, leave it alone. Financials are dead, leave them alone. Industrials, there's not really much power there, is it? Leave it alone. Technology, oh, gee whiz, there's another one, XLK. Look at the base on the weekly. Look at it lifting off. It was talking back here. It was saying, hey, we're picking up a little bit. What were we looking at when this was happening? Technology stocks. And gosh, we own quite a few. It was telling us to. It wasn't forecasting. That's what I like. We don't have to guess. We don't have to forecast. Just look at the price and volume action. It'll guide you where the power is. Consumer staples, there's nothing good going on there. Healthcare, there's nothing good going on there. Consumer discretionary picked up a little bit. That's good to see. That's nice to see. The consumer's coming back a little bit in that respect. Metals and mining, leave it alone. I mean, we could do an in-depth analysis on this. Why? It's below the falling 50-day. It's near 52-week lows. Leave it alone. Avoid it. And we've avoided this for a long time. It's just that simple. Oil and gas picking up, but it's lagging still too. We've seen several oil and gas stocks that there's no good there. The retail, there's nothing going on good with retail. Look at that. Related to consumer. Look, stay away from retail stocks. Done. Software picking up a little bit. That's good to see. Technology related, we know about that. So here's Apple slowly grinding up. As you can see, MAXLIST stocks were in this, and it's working. It's working. It's not a runaway freight train, but it's grinding up, and for that I'm thankful. Amazon, in it. Breakout. Had a levels back in here. It's working. We're in it. It was on the key list, and it's grinding up. Again, it's not exploding in price, but it's moving up. Continue onward. BABA. Do you think we're in this? Nope. Look at it. Look at the weekly. Look at the daily. There's nothing there. I mean, compare and contrast. Oh, Amazon looks like it's moving up a little bit. BABA, there's nothing there. Leave it alone. Move on. BIDU, there's nothing there. Move it along. By the way, this is an important lesson. It's still lagging big time. I mean, folks, look at this. Amazon's taken out these highs from the last couple of months, right? Apple's taken out the highs from the last couple of months. There's Amazon again. BABA, it hasn't taken out the highs from the last couple of months. BIDU, it hasn't taken out the highs from the last couple of months. And here's the important lesson here. Look at this. Rallies right up to the falling 50-day and stops. Okay, it's a bad pun, but I'll say it. Stops on a dime. I'm sorry. That's a little bit of dad humor for everybody. But you can see it's not leading. It's below the falling 50-day. Be careful with that. Google. Look at the clean and simple base on Google here on the daily. Look at the volume pickup on this bar. It was bought. It was on the key list, and it's working. Sold some into strength. We're in good shape, but it's been leading. Okay, strength begets strength. Now it's in great shape, but I wouldn't buy here. Okay, it's extended. Goldman Sachs, there's no power there. Move on. MasterCard started a lift off. Okay, right here through this base on the weekly, and here it is on the daily on a slight pickup in volume, and it backed off on less volume. Maybe it'll base here and start to go again, but it did show some strength on the weekly, but it fell back below the line. There we go. Meta. I've got this marked on the weekly entries. And there was an entry here. This is the last. We caught this, we sold it, but this is an entry right here and here. And it's working. It's working. And you can see it on the daily. It's just grinding up. Now here's another one though. It lifted off and then it backed off a bit on Friday. Many leading stocks backed off on Friday. I'm not bearish, but I'm just saying be aware of that. Okay? Don't argue with it. Continue onward. Microsoft. Look at the weekly base. Check that out. Look at the volume pickup. And we bought it here. We bought it here. We bought more, and it's working. We've sold some into strength to lock in profits, but we're in good shape. Please note this, by the way. I do not want anybody to think, oh, Pat's bragging. No. There's a great quote. Don't equate brains with a bull market, okay? When the stocks are lifting up, that's good, okay? The stocks are the arbiter, not us. We let price and volume action guide us. There we go. And we never argue with price. But you can see, look at the trend. This is the 8-period exponential moving average. There's about 2 years of research in that moving average that I did at the turn of the century with my brother from another mother who's going to listen to this and know that. You can see it's working. So there you go. Now, am I saying buy it here? No, it's extended. It's extending, but it's been working for us. So there you go. This is the MAXLIST stocks. Netflix. See this base right here? And it formed a little handle. And watch this. I'll draw this again. Hold on. And I drew this for the VIPs. Well, here, we'll just do this. Watch this. We're just going to do it on the daily. This is what I showed people. I said, and we'll shrink this a bit. I said, you see this base right here? There's a nice base here. If it takes out that line, those clean and simple tops, it's a MAXLIST stock with volume, that could be good. And again, I made a video on this right here on this day. There's this, boom, nothing there, boom, there it goes, pushing through the line and off to the races. Now, they all don't do this, okay? I just let you know. But it's nice when they do. Sold a little bit into strength. When it's pulling back, we're in great shape. Oh, by the way, I'm not saying buy it here, but this is why we do what we do. This is a great lesson for everybody. This is the daily. Look at the weekly. What could this do? I'm not saying it will, okay? Nobody knows the future, but maybe on the weekly, it will form a little handle and then take off across these weekly tops. Now we have a game plan on bigger picture timeframes here. Isn't that neat? You wouldn't notice it much on the daily, but you sure do on the weekly. There we go. That's the stuff we do and it works. It ain't fancy. That's the part I like. It's simple and it's conceptually correct. Continue onwards. NVDA. We were buying this down here. We were buying this down here. And this has been the leading stock on the NASDAQ this year. It's working. It's just kind of grinding up. See that clean and simple base right there? I'll spread this out for you a little bit. Look at just a simple flat base. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. We bought more. There it is. It's vanilla. Sold a little bit into strength with the market. We're in good shape. Now, am I saying buy it here? No, don't buy it, but you can see the simple bases. They work. Look at this right here. And I stress something. This is very important. Do they work every time? Nothing works every time. That's why we always control risk. Price is good above the line and bad below, and we monitor accordingly. Tesla started to pick up through the 50-day, okay? Tons of overhead supply here, all right? Tesla's been really good to us through the years. It lifted up here on okay volume. It would be nice if it could form some kind of a better pattern in here. We'll have to watch and see. But what did it do? It pushed through the 50-day. That's a good sign. That's a start, and it did it on a pickup in volume. I'm not saying buy it here now, okay? But at least it's back above the 50-day. So we'll watch and see what happens. Visa. Look at the long base on Visa. You see that? Isn't that great? Here's the weekly. Here's the daily. Watch this. You can say, oh, I see that. How about this? Look at that. That's a base going all the way back to January of 2022. That's a long cup and a handle. What does it need to do? It needs to push through this line, and it needs to do it on really good volume. Now, I pointed out Visa, and then we'll go back to the spiders. Gosh, let me think here. Let me see, Visa. Isn't there another stock like Visa? Yeah, there's MasterCard. There's MasterCard. MasterCard lifted off and then gave it right back on Friday. Now, what's the sister stock to MasterCard? Visa. Here's MasterCard breaking out on the weekly, pushing through on the daily, and it gives it right back. What does that tell us? It says, well, if Visa goes, got to be kind of careful here because MasterCard went up and whipped right back down again. That's connecting the dots. That's why we do what we do.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.